Hey guys, it's Rob here. Today, we go over the history of Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese in Mobile, Alabama. One of the locations we're discussing today had a very unique three-stage, specifically in the 90s, that I've been wanting to discuss. Of course, I'm not the one who decided to go over this location this week. I have to give that thanks to dogs_life, who requested this location. He also has provided me with most of the info in this video, with videos and pictures to back up a lot of it, so huge thanks to him for that. I'd recommend checking out his videos since they're pretty cool. As usual, I've gathered information from multiple different sources, which I'll be linking in the description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, as in the next video, we'll be going over a location that's technically the last of its kind. Anyways, let's go over the history of Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese in Mobile, Alabama. 4685 Airport Boulevard location opened in April of 1981 as a Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater, the first one in Alabama. Very little is known about this location, though we do have a few photos of the location, one of which is part of a caption saying that someone celebrated their 6th birthday here, as expected. The first picture in question shows us the Chuck walkaround being used during that time, as well as the wall behind the walkaround. We also have photos of the animatronics from this location. Firstly, we get a look at the balcony stage, the center part of it specifically, and see that they had Madame Oink at this point, which is pretty cool to see. Even cooler is a picture of the cabaret act, Dolly Dimples, where multiple kids are watching her perform. This location closed in February of 1984, likely due to the bankruptcy happening for Pizza Time Theater during this time. Unfortunately, we can't quite conclude what happened to this location's building, as we actually have no clue which building it housed. When you look up the address today, it leads you to an address which used to be a bank with a drive-thru area, and although you could argue that this was added on later, aerial shots of the building from 1981 say otherwise, so unfortunately I have no clue what became of this building as of February of 2024. If anyone who watches this potentially grew up with the Mobile Pizza Time Theater, please let me know if you know what became of the original building. The 710 Downtown Loop location opened on February 10th, 1982 as a Showbiz Pizza Place, the first one in Alabama. There's a newspaper advertisement advertising the location opening soon, and I must say that with the coloring of the newspapers being black and white, this picture of Billy Bob peeking out of the curtains is quite uncanny. Speaking of which, there's apparently an edit of this with Freddy Fazbear, which, despite me not being scared of these guys in years, has me feeling like he's staring into my soul. I've heard from a couple of sources that when the Mobile Pizza Time Theater closed, this location honored the tokens and coupons from that location, which makes sense seeing it was literally 10 minutes away from it. Talk about competition. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to talk about for this time, as we only have a couple photos to go off of from the early 80s for this location. The first one is in the showroom, where we get to see the Billy Bob walkaround used during this time. It appears to be the one that corporate made, though I can't tell whether it's an earlier one or the more standard one. The second photo seems to be near the menu counter, and we see a board full of people who are having birthdays, which isn't something I've seen before and is pretty interesting to see. This is easily going to be the longest segment for any singular decade for a location, so buckle up. Beginning in 1989, due to a fallout between Creative Engineering and Showbiz Pizza Time Inc., concept unification occurred, in which every Showbiz Pizza place would convert their Rocket Fire Explosion band into Munch's Make Believe band. Mobile was one of the vast majority of locations to undergo this change, receiving it in 1992. By 1993, supposedly in 1990 specifically, this location received the 1986 remodel, which replaced older decor with newer decor, added color checkers to the walls inside and outside, and also changed the exterior to the Chuck E. Cheese's pizza exterior. There's also blueprints for this remodel, showing off the entire store's layout. It's not something I've ever shown you guys before on this series, so I figured I'd show it here. We can see two of these changes in footage from 1993, where we get a pretty good look at the store's interior overall. Although most of the footage takes place in the showroom, we get a good look at the prize counter, the games, the rides, the entrance area, the booths, the salad bar, along with its accompanying awnings, the decor, including those duck float thingies that I believe are from the Showbiz days, and most importantly, a lot of good footage of the animatronics. Condition-wise, they seem good overall, though Jasper doesn't seem to move a whole lot here. Like, seriously, Pasquale is putting Jasper to shame here in terms of movement, which is not something I thought I'd say. I think what's even better than seeing all of this, though, is the live performance, which is probably some of my favorite I've seen from one of these. Firstly, we get to see a 90s Helen walk around, wearing the same clothes as the animatronic, as well as a mid to late 80s Chuck head, wearing Tux attire. Whoever was performing in these walkarounds, especially Chuck, killed it. We see Chuck get on top of the balcony seating area and jump off of it. It's wild stuff. Honestly, I don't usually do this, but I would highly recommend giving this video footage a watch if you have the time to. It really gives a good showcase of Chuck E. Cheese's in the 90s, and really highlights why it was so good back then. Anyways, let's move on. As you saw in the video, the 3-stage was starting to take a turn for the worse, so Brian Hagen was hired on to be the tech for the location. Apparently he came from the Vestavia location, which is actually pretty cool to think about. Anyways, we now get to see what the store was unique for. Brian decided to make changes to the stage over the course of a few years that made the store unlike any other. Starting in 1994, we see the entirety of the 3-stage, from the animatronics to the stage itself, get significant customizations. This first set is dubbed the Vegas set by Brian himself, and a video from him from that time shows off all the new customizations, which were additions to the planters, a new organ front with the Chuck E. Cheese logo, the wing painted in red, white, and blue colors, the beach bar guitar painted to look like the cheese guitar, Helen getting yellow hair as well as a green cheerleader outfit and matching pom-poms, the floor on stages left and right getting marble, Pasquale and Pizza Cam's positions being swapped, Pasquale getting eyebrows, a new drum front similar to that of Duke's, Jasper getting whiskers, and the building getting a new mask with red lips. The moon mask looks yellowed in this video, though it's unconfirmed whether or not this is due to the lighting or a new mask being given to the moon. And this is just the first of 3 sets of customizations the stage received. Side note, we also get to see that Chuck E. Cheese's pizza exterior and the outside checkers in this video, and the animatronics work great here, which makes sense considering Brian was working on them at this point. We have another video showcasing the second set, which is actually the second version of the Vegas set. The new set gave us additions such as new rain curtains added to every stage, a custom brick backdrop piece with music note lights, the Much's Make Believe Band sign being painted black, a new Much Junior can, more flooring now on every stage, Pasquale for teeth added, a new custom cheese triangle base for Chuck, a new custom repainted star for Chuck, and a new Jasper can. That's not all though. We also see a few customizations on the sides of the stage, with the walls being overlaid with gray and stars being added. I'm unsure if the posters were added to the sides here or not though. There was also this Chuck-shaped light that now could display on center stage when the curtains were closed. As before, the animatronics work great. Next is a set that actually isn't documented on video, but instead through photos, called the Winter set. It was essentially laid over the second Vegas set for, well, wintertime. This also added a lot to the stage, adding light poles to the left and right sides of center stage, custom Christmas trees on center stage and stage right. These may be repurposed Rockafire trees, but it's unconfirmed. The Much's Make Believe Band sign being moved to stage left, custom brick backdrop pieces decorated with fake snow pieces, a new organ front that reads Techno Magic, a new vest and top hat for Munch, fake snow planters on stage left and right, icicle decor on the custom brick decoration piece, as well as snow and red flowers added to the center of that, Chuck's face covered with white cloth, and a custom background that was sky blue with snowflakes, as well as a snowman on stage left. Finally, Jasper got a squirrel added to his guitar, which reminds me of Billy Bob's birthday bird with how and where it's attached. That's all for the stage, but Chuck went through 3 different outfits during this time. We don't know the specific order they were used in, but first is his pajama set, with curly blonde hair, which looks kinda weird on Chuck, honestly. Second is his tux with the same curly blonde hair, and holding a red stocking with his name on it. Finally is a Coach Chuck outfit, with red shoes, blue pants, a red long sleeve shirt with the word Coach surrounded by a yellow oval, a yellow whistle around his neck, and a red cap. He also is not standing on his base in this setup, and the star is missing too. Both of these sets I mentioned are from 1995. Finally, we have a couple versions of the same type of stage setup, the playroom stage. This is likely the one you guys are the most familiar with, so let's go over it. The earlier version of this setup is from early 1996, where we unfortunately could only see stage right, but there's still quite a bit here to talk about. Firstly, the entire background was changed to look like a playroom a kid would play in, and you can see a large football as well as a yellow toy dump truck. There's a plant hung on the top right corner of the stage, and shelves to the very left of the stage with memorabilia, such as a small soccer ball in it. Hanging hangs behind Chuck, and also a shirt hangs to his right, our left. There's also a doorway to learning facade, put on top of the TV beside Chuck, decorated with all sorts of school supplies. The bottom of the TV also had the word Rose on it. A yellow container is also on the floor beside the TV. The floor appears to be painted black as well. Most impressive is the airplane on the wall, with a working propeller that worked by using the signals from the star in order to operate. The animatronics continue to work great here. The finalized version of the setup includes the entire stage, which includes Chuck mostly reverting back to his standard outfit, though with a new tux and also the return of the cheese base, though still no star, a new dump truck and bulldozer toy on the floor, A new shelf takes place as the old ones, with new stuff like an action figure on it. An MLB poster now hangs up on the side of the previous one. Seeing the center stage, it is also repainted to look like stage right, and has multiple large crayons as well as a dollhouse on the floor. Two shelves with plants are on the left and right sides of the stage, as well as a few posters too. The Munch's Make Believe Band sign is now colored the primary colors, with handprints of the same colors covering the sign. A rainbow colored kite hangs beside the sign. Munch Jr. is now in a blue bucket, and Jasper now sits on a black can, and is angled to the left for some reason. Moving to stage left, a couple of posters hang on the wall, as well as a bulletin board with photos of Mobile's 3 stage and Irving's 1 stage. A target board also hangs to the right of the stage, and above it a shelf with stuff such as a tennis racket on it. Fake balloons hang on the left side of the stage, and some sort of cooking toys beside Pizza Cam's box, which has a crayon on both of the front sides of the box. Finally, an inflatable football goal sits to the right of the stage. Phew, alright, that was a lot. Moving on to 1996 footage from before the transition to the playroom stage, we get to see the ball pit, a few of the rides, a few of the games, the booths and showroom walls, and the Chucky walkaround during this time, wearing an actual tuxedo with some goofy cowboy hat. I've got questions on why they made this combination. Anyways, Brian was asked to help install the awesome adventure machine, so he left the location later in 1996. It received the major 90s remodel as well as Phase 1 in 1996 as well, redoing the exterior to something like this, adding the Skycrawl, the predecessor to the Skytubes, removing the older decor for newer decor, and new booths. They also received Phases 2 and 3 in the following years, which made changes to the game package and improvements to the Skytubes, and the addition of Kid Check into Toddler Zone. We can see the new decor and Skytubes in footage from 1999, plus a few of the games and new booths. And also see that the playroom setup had mostly been removed by this point, save for a few things such as Helen's cheerleader outfit, Munch's outfit, Jasper's can, the custom cheese guitar, the blue bucket for Munch Jr., and the custom Munch's Make Believe Band sign. You can also see issues with the animatronics, such as Jasper's guitar being angled much lower than it should be. We also see the walk around for this time, a Tux Chuck with the newer head and the red derby. There's a photo from 2001 that seems to show off the part of the showroom with the 90s decor as well as a cool Chuck walk around. Between 2002 and 2004, the removal of the playroom setup had been complete, removing the remaining outfits that were custom, the Munch's Make Believe Band sign being reverted back to normal, and the custom cheese guitar being exchanged for an actual cheese guitar. One thing that did remain is Jasper's custom can, his position towards the left, and also the custom wink, which is interesting. In the early 2000s, all the characters got plastic masks, and Munch Jr. was removed as well, though Pizza Cam stayed. Between 2005 and 2007, this location got the Phase 4 remodel, changing the exterior to an Adventure Truck exterior, painting some of the walls purple, removing the showroom walls and balcony seating, and removing older decor for newer decor. We see a photo from 2007 showing off the center stage, where we can see the few changes that remain to the stage. A screenshot from Google Maps in November of 2007 gives us a look at the exterior before we got a significant change to it a few years later. In 2010, the store would receive an expansion to what is apparently considered the left side. We have a photo from 2010 during this expansion and shows off the new expansion as well as a few games from the time. Photos from 2010 show us that Chuck also got his Avenger attire by then. A screenshot from Google Maps in 2011 also shows what the exterior looked like after expansion. In 2011, a geocache was going on with the Karate Chuck plush, with the goal being to get it to Japan. That year, it visited the Mobile store, where we get a picture of the showroom showing the Adventure Chuck walk around holding the plush. During 2012, Snapper Ard worked on this show, and according to him, it was in pretty rough shape, which doesn't surprise me since Brian Hagen left 16 years prior. We see in this footage from the same year that Helen is working well here, which is good to see. While Snap worked there, he would also get rid of the rest of the prop characters, those being the building, moon, and pizza cam, and sell them off, which is an interesting thing to do considering they were still being used in store at the time. I have also received footage from Dog's Life that was recorded in 2014 of the store, and we get to see stage right and center stage, though they don't move much due to how brief the footage is. They seem to be in good shape here though, from what I can see. After that, nothing really changed for that a little while. So fast forwarding to October of 2019, the store began to remodel to 2.0, which may have been as a result of the Cyberstar breaking shortly beforehand. I'm not sure. Footage from a year prior in October of 2018 shows the stage isn't doing too great, with the animatronics not moving a whole lot overall and Chuck being stuck leaning down. We have photos during the remodel showing the exterior being taken off, as well as some of the last photos of the animatronics before removal. Speaking of which, after the exterior is painted white, the animatronics and stage would be removed, being replaced by a 2019 model dance floor. Funnily enough, this remodel was considered bad even for a 2.0 remodel, due to the fact that only the Helen and Chuck posters were hung up in the showroom area, accompanied by two small TV screens. This was fixed in June of 2023 when they received a video wall, but still, I find it funny that they did it like this initially. In conclusion, Mobile is a fascinating area, being home to the first Chuck E. Cheese's and Showbiz Pizza in Alabama, plus the fact that Mobile had the most unique stage setups out of any other three-stage. Overall, this was a very interesting area to cover, and I want to thank Dog's Life again for the help with research for this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. This video ended up being longer than I thought it would be, but it makes sense considering how much work went into these unique stage setups. My next video will be covering Durham, North Carolina, which is home to the last mini-unit variant of the one stage. If you're interested in seeing that, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you're notified when that drops. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.